Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Tim here with the TMA Connection, your podcast that is focusing on the people and the things that are making a difference in the lives of others. And today we're going solo again. Got another solo episode here for you. This is an episode that I feel needs to be done because I get so many calls over the course of the year about old students that I had. I used to be a teacher, Bel-Air High School, PE teacher, who transitioned over into real estate. Did that about 7 years ago. We're coming up on 10 years in the business. It's crazy. Since 2015, we've been in the business. And one of the most popular questions that people are asking me is, what do you need to do to get your real estate license? What do you need to do to get into real estate? And so we're going to break down some of that today. So if you find that this helps you out a little bit or a lot, or you think that, or you know somebody that's looking to get their real estate license and potentially become a real estate agent, please share this with them. And if you have any additional questions after this, I'm always an open book. You can always reach out to me. I'd love to help you out. This career has been life-changing for me and my family, and it can be for yours too. Let's get rolling with it. So back in 2015, actually a couple years before that, my dad and I, we flipped a couple houses. And what we realized was every time that we buy or sell a house, we're going to have to pay commissions. And we thought, well, hey, let's get our real estate license, and we'll do our own flips, we'll do our own transactions, and we'll save a little bit of money over the long haul. So we went in, we went to get our real estate license. Now, mind you, fast forward, we haven't flipped any more houses since then because just knowing a lot of people through teaching and old students and past teachers and friends in the community and everything, we've done very well with helping other people buy and sell homes, and we haven't really done too many flips. My parents did a couple investment properties, but yeah, we're just helping people buy and sell them now. But when you want to become a real estate agent, the first thing you need to do is take a pre-licensing class. Now, that consists of 60 hours of training. And you can do that in person or you can do that online. Now, it's a matter of opinion as to what best fits your learning style. I know for me, I think it was probably a good idea for me to be in a classroom setting. There was about 12 of us in that classroom, and a gentleman by the name of Dale Heller, who I just ran into the other day, was the teacher and kind of got us set on this path to becoming real estate agents. He taught the class. It was a 5-week class. It was 3 days a week for like 4 hours at a time. Hopefully that equals up to 60. And it was in class. It was very personable. We could ask questions. He had a lot of stories that he shared to help us really understand the content of what we were learning about. And that worked for me. Now, Amy, my wife, when she got licensed in 2019, she went through a website called ceshop.com, and you'll definitely want to write that one down, ceshop.com. And basically, that's an online class that you can do at your own pace. So it's still a 60-hour class, but with the online version, you can't graduate to the next step or the next level without passing a quiz or passing a mini test or anything like that. So it's kind of like a video game. You can't go to the next level unless you beat the previous level. And so with that, it could take you more than 60 hours. Took my wife significantly more, but again, she was home with children and balancing a lot of other things going on in our lives, so she could fit in an hour here, fit in an hour there, which is great because with online you have that flexibility to do it on your own time type thing, but it just might take a little bit longer. The great thing about online is it's very, very thorough, and like I said, you're passing little quizzes along the process, so you have little benchmarks that you have to basically complete and pass before you can move to the next level. So, and I think just that alone really affirms the information that you're learning, and so she was very well prepared when it came to actually taking the state and federal exams, because she had so many opportunities to be quizzed and to see questions. And believe it or not, some of the questions on the CE shop as well as in person, those questions kind of popped up on the federal and the state exams. So they do a really good job of kind of bringing practical questions that could be on the exam to you in that 60-hour course. Now, once you get to the end of the 60 hours, you have to take the class exam. And that is something where you have to pass it with a 70% or higher. And don't mark me on this, but I believe they let you're able to fail it once, but if you fail it twice, you might have to start over. Don't hold me to that. But it is pretty intense. There are study guides. There are books that you can bring out or get at the library that can help you prepare for these tests and everything. But you need to pass the class test in order to go on to take the federal and the state. And when you take the federal and the state, you also need to get a 70% or higher to be able to pass those. Now, with those, if you pass one but you don't pass the other, then you can go back and just make up the one that you didn't pass, and you just have to pay each time you go. And you have up to 12 months to pass that federal and state exam. So it's, let me think. It was 80 questions on the federal. It was 30 questions on the state. You had to get a 56 out of 80 or a 21 out of 30 on the state in order to pass at a 70% level. Once you take that federal and state exam, and this is for the state of Maryland, so please don't hold me to any other states. I'm just talking strictly about Maryland. You can get your real estate license. Now, part of getting that real estate license is you have to affiliate with a brokerage. Now, you have all these different brokerages. I'm with Cummings & Company. There's Keller Williams. There's Berkshire Hathaway. There's Coldwell Banker. There's Exit. There's a ton of them out there. And those brokerages have different commission models. And so when you're going to look at a brokerage, my advice to you would be don't allow the commission structure to be your number one priority, because the more value a brokerage gives you is probably the more money they're going to take for your split. But the most important thing that you need to be thinking about is the education that they provide, the mentorship that they provide, and the tools that they provide. Because once you pass that exam, as far as just knowing the general federal rules and the state guidelines and all those different things, it doesn't necessarily teach you how to run the business of real estate, about marketing, about prospecting and lead generation and all that stuff. So you need to find a brokerage that's going to provide those top three: the mentorship, the tools, and the education, which is super important. And I would say fourth would be your commission split. Because again, once you actually learn the business and get educated well, for the long term, you're going to be in a lot better hands than if you join a brokerage that has a smaller split, but they don't have good education, they don't have good tools and resources, or even somebody there to help you out. So think of it as a long-term investment, because at any time, if you want to change brokerages to seek out a higher commission split, because after a few years, say you really nail this down and you're doing really well and you feel like you want to do that, then you can look at other brokerages that have bigger commission splits that might not provide as much education or as many tools as say the other brokerages do. And so there's just that balance there of the investment of getting that education first, so that you last longer than just thinking about getting the highest split right when you get your real estate license. Another benefit or another thing that you can do too is you can join a team. Now, this is not a recruiting call. I'm not looking to recruit anybody that's going to be joining my team. So there's no alternative motives here. But if you can find a real estate team that is going to work with new agents, to have that direct mentorship, to have the direct resources and the different templates and systems and processes that can really help you grow your business in the beginning, then that could be an option too. So joining a team, or at least joining a brokerage that provides training and mentorship, is going to be key to you being a successful real estate agent. This episode is sponsored by the Markland Advantage with Cummings & Company Realtors. When you're ready to make a move, give us a call. We'd love to help you out in the buying and selling process. If you'd like more information, simply message us or email tim@themarklandadvantage.com. Now back to the show. So my final words of wisdom with everything that I'm talking about here: the majority of people that have come to me to inquire about getting their real estate license have not gotten their real estate license. Basically, only one has, and he's now on my team, Dan. Dan came to me just like a lot of other old students have, and talked about this. And 6 weeks later, he was back on the phone with me again, saying, "Hey, I got my real estate license. What do I do next?" He was the only one out of 40, 50 people that I've had this conversation with that actually took the action, took the steps needed to pursue that real estate license. And to no disrespect to anybody that's listening to this that might have sat down and talked with me, but it's almost like a test within the test. It is very rigorous to get your real estate license. It's a very long course. It's a hard exam. And so I think sometimes people feel that fear of something that's just really big, and they're looking at, okay, I want to become a successful real estate agent, and they're thinking so far down the road that they get scared and they don't move forward. What you have to do is you have to just look at the next step in front of you and take that step. That might be signing up for the class. That might just be going to ceshop.com and reading up on this, and then spending however it's a few $100s to sign up for the class, and then just start with chapter 1, and that first quiz, and building on that, because again, I think we get so wrapped up in looking at the big picture that we just need to focus on the small steps that lead to that big picture and make progress. And the progress is going to drive the motivation for you to finish what you started. But it is challenging. And so I would encourage you, again, to just look at the first step and take the first step, and then look at the next step after that, and just divide this up into 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 steps to get to becoming a successful real estate agent. Because even when you get if you do pass the test, if you pass the class, you pass the test, now you have to learn how to be a real estate agent. If you take everything and you dwell on everything, you're not going to move forward. It's just too much. But if you take it as, what's one thing that I can do today that is going to make a difference in where I'm taking this, you're going to be in a lot better shape over the course of your learning with this. Do the practice questions. Like I said, when you're taking the class, you'll have practice questions, whether you're online or whether you're in person. Do the practice questions, because again, they are a good reflection of what you'll see on the exam. And you certainly have some of those questions that are, you read it first and then you read it again, and it's worded weird, and what are they really asking for? Kind of like those SAT questions from high school. But when you start practicing those quiz questions, it's going to help you a lot more when you get to the actual exams. Again, education, mentorship, and tools are your first priority when you're looking at brokerages. Shop different brokerages. Look, they want you more than you need them. They want you to join. So find out, interview different brokerages. We interviewed 4 when we got into the business. We went with the one, wasn't as much on the commission, but they provided the education, tools, and resources that we needed to learn this business. And can't be thankful enough to the people at Berkshire Hathaway, Penn Fed Realty. I mentioned Dale Heller. Irene Heller was my first manager. She was phenomenal with the contract. I learned so much from those people and the agents in that brokerage that have helped me be, a true professional. And so that's really important, is looking at those attributes as well as the culture of the brokerage. Where we were with Berkshire Hathaway, you could have an open door. Everybody had an open door. You could ask anybody anything, and there was no competition or drama or anything like that. Same thing here at Cummings & Company. So certainly looking at the culture of a brokerage too, asking, talk to some of the agents there, see what they think of the brokerage. And again, don't give up. That's the biggest thing. Is it's a huge process to get your real estate license. But once you do that, if you can pass that, you can pass anything that's going to be coming up. And so it's the test within the test. It's the test of not giving up, pushing through, persevering, even when it gets boring, even when you're dragging through, that middle part, and you're just like, do I really want to do this? Don't give up. Keep moving forward. And that's all I got for you today. Hopefully this video helps you. I think what I'll do is, if anybody ever calls me and says, hey, can you talk to me about getting into real estate? This is the conversation that we have, right? So I'll probably just send them the link to this YouTube, send this link to somebody that's thinking about getting into real estate. This is the truth. This is this is the honest view. It's been a great choice of career for me. Again, teaching for 16 and a half years, only to leave the teaching profession to go full-time real estate, doing it 3 years part-time before I could make that jump comfortably. But it's the people that I've surrounded myself with on my team, as well as the people at the two brokerages that I've been at, that have really helped us come up to the 10-year. We're coming up on 10 years. And of course, if you're watching this video a couple years from now, then you'll have to do the math. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been very rewarding, and you're making a difference in the lives of others, whether it's through buying their first home, selling their family home, upsizing, downsizing. It's just truly a pleasure to work with people. So if you have any questions about getting a real estate license or about buying or selling a home, please feel free to reach out to us. You can connect with us at our website, themarklandadvantage.com. You can email me directly at tim@themarklandadvantage.com, or just simply send us a private message over social media. We're on all the big platforms at the Markland Advantage, including Facebook and Instagram. We're on YouTube as well, and we're trying to grow the subscribership there. So please share the podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Let's get it out there. Let's get the good word out there and just help people live a better life. That's what we're all about. So thank you for joining me today. Until next time, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead, click it. Go ahead.